He is the CEO of Planet Hollywood International, owner of a vast empire of international companies, and an internationally acclaimed marketing genius. This is an example of one of my many media consultations that I conduct with business executives. Obviously, we were both aware that our session was being videotaped for purposes of a website example.
Elliot, firstly I want to thank you to take time out of your busy schedule to come here and see us. So let's start. I've got a few things I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
But firstly, you went to see Peep Show 2 nights running. You went to the premiere. I'd be very interested in your views and any suggestions that you might have for us.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
a stupendous production, and I have no doubt that it'll be an enormous success. Without me giving you any advice whatsoever, it's a runaway train. It's the right show at the right time in the right place to make its statement. So, you already know what you have, and you already know how you can sell it in the areas you need to sell it. What I just want to submit to you is perhaps a thought or two that you may have not considered. And one is to take a slight highbrow position in terms of the way it should be promoted. At the moment, there is a confusion in people's minds between a peep show, a strip show, a burlesque show, a Las Vegas nudity show. I'm suggesting that in addition to everybody's perceptions, that you advance the following hypothesis. This is a peek into the evolvement of female sexuality in the 21st century. It redefines how women relate to those inert, primordial instincts that live. Indeed. Something that has not been articulated before, with the possible exception of Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. In addition to all the obvious media that you're going to invite to review, I'm going to suggest you invite some feminists. Feminist groups who historically and traditionally have an aversion to women taking their clothes off in Las Vegas. I would like them to be on your side, on the side of Planet Hollywood and the side of Peep Show. Obviously, there is a reason to reach out to the gay and lesbian community. There is appeal for eye candy for men as well, and they should be welcomed and invited and encouraged to attend. Also,
Yes.
I would encourage any kind of dialogue among the moralists who find all of this to be on the brink or edge of decadent America in the 21st century. Secondly, I would suggest that you open the doors a little wider to the demographic that is, of course, Las Vegas, and skew younger, and make it more hip for people to come and see a show that they might misperceive as, some kind of strip or burlesque show. I would like you to try to influence the women on their own to come out in public forums and express their sense of freedom, sexual awakening, and identity with what they saw on stage. And finally, to open the door to the possibility of the sexuality of the 21st century being something that possibly could embrace both the male and female experience simultaneously. Those were the initial impressions I got from...
That's very helpful. Thank you. Elliot?
Robert.
It's fabulous to have you here in Vegas. When I think back over the last 20 years, you've been instrumental in many of the great events that have occurred for me around the world. I consider you to be one of the world's preeminent media consultants, publicists, and advisors on many different entertainment issues, So I think it's fun to be here tonight with you and throw a few new challenges at you.
Bless you.
So here we go.
Peep show.
Yes, thank you for coming. You've
Thank
just seen the real new grand premiere with the wonderful Holly Madison.
She's sensational.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think we now have the show together that we need. And of course, the question that is really useful to ask you is, how would you convey it now to the public in this tough recessionary time that we're in?
Indeed. The tough recessionary time that we're in is going to work for and against us, of course. Less money is going to be available to people. At the same time, a greater need for pleasure and enjoyment and removing ourselves from the issues of the day. So on an entertainment level, it could not come at a better time and a better place. The goal immediately is on a number of levels. The first one, there needs to really be a clear definition between what is different about peep show, striptease, burlesque, the kind of shows that go on off the strip with lap dancers, that kind of thing, and the quality and class of an actual multi-million-dollar production
right.
with
and
music.
how would you suggest that we convey that?
First, I feel that there needs to be more in-house promotion and publicity that will explain to your guests in 2,400 rooms what exactly they would see if they go to see Peep Show. Currently, you have a video that's been cut that should be elongated. The video simply does not do justice to the production. I would reshoot scenes in the video that would concentrate a little bit more on the specialty acts of what each of the women and the few men do, so people can access it on their TVs, and it should be around the casino as well. I think that there should be more signage. I think that we should see more posters of the women in costume everywhere. To that end, I've come up with a couple of suggestions.
Good, let's hear them.
To extend the brand in-house, I would like to see you establish a presence in each one of the facilities. For instance, might there not be a, quote, peep show workout in the spa? You're in Planet Hollywood for 3 or 4 days. For 3 or 4 days, we have both male and female trainers who are going to whip you into shape, show you exactly the moves to make you look a little closer to the people that are on stage. Relatively inexpensive, it's gimmicky, and there could even be a peep show section in the gym for those exercises. There could be a peep show makeup package for ladies. So on the occasion that they're going to go to see the show, and this is a male-female romantic, exciting, seductive evening. And women frequently like to dress up, show themselves off. We could have a booth, we could have a makeup artist to really do the peep show makeup for a lady, and of course establish the signage in the spa. I like the idea that when people call for room service, call for anything, get messages, it's Holly Madison's voice on the telephone, saying,
yes.
It's Holly, and the show starts tonight at such and such time. This is a very important point, because obviously the people who see the show would like to have some kind of connection with the dancers. You have this fabulous restaurant 20 feet away from where the crowd spills out.
Strip house.
I think there should be some kind of word out that when the women finish dancing and take their showers and change, etc., that frequently they go to strip house and relax and unwind for a little bit afterwards. You can let the word out subtly, you could even let the word out formally. Want to meet the girls from Peep Show? You might want to just drop by Strip House. On a first admission basis, we recommend that you come in early, have a dinner, and then maybe gravitate to the bar. Put a stanchion in a line to prevent it from being overrun by people who are just peeping. I'm suggesting, for a lack of a better term, a Peep Show pole dance class.
Okay.
where you take a room, you put the pole up, you do some props, and you hire one or two or three women who will show those women who wish to spend $50, $100, $150 for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just what's involved in climbing the pole. Not just to become burlesque artists, but for fitness as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't expect any of the principals in the show to do it, but there are some marvelous dancers in Las Vegas that could do it, and it could be cute. With handling it with enormous discretion, I think on special occasions there might be an opportunity to win a date with a peep show dancer. That there would be some kind of contest, and the result of the contest is that you get to take one of the dancers out for dinner at Koi or any one of the fine restaurants, of course. And my suggestion is that the people who participate in the contest, that there be a revenue tie-in with some kind of existing charity in Las Vegas or Nevada.
And let me ask you, clearly the Californian market is the largest feeder market for Nevada, and a lot of people need to be thinking in advance about where they might visit once they come to Vegas. Not only where they stay, but after they've booked their room, start to think about what they might do in the evening.
Correct.
Excuse me. So one of the things that we need to focus on, Elliot, and use your brain power to come up with some unique ideas, is how do we tell everyone in LA, everyone in San Diego, everyone in San Fran, that there's this very hot lady, Holly Madison, dancing beautifully with all these other wonderful girls, with great music, right here inside Planet Hollywood. Obviously, we're doing traditional advertising anyway.
The traditional advertising obviously is
a given.
A given. And the most expensive. I would like to see a way of doing a satellite tour where Holly could be here with the proper signage and in the theater.
I like that.
And be beamed into the various radio and television stations up and down the coast. So you take probably the #1 talk show in the morning in Los Angeles. It's called Good Day LA with Steve
Sure.
Edwards. There's Holly talking about Peep Show, talking about her involvement in it. It's a free advertisement plus B-roll that they roll in. The B-roll would come from the existing video where you actually see the women doing what they're doing. To fly individual dancers to San Francisco and San Diego, a little too complicated electronically. I think it would work well. In addition, there are kiosks now in the principal airports that allow you to make your purchases of tickets and other things right there on spot with video screens,
Right.
etc. A very tasteful version of that could be set up where you can make those plans. I would also suggest a junket for travel agents and other people involved in travel. Just bring them out here.
Let's take a city like San Francisco.
Yes.
What could Holly do to cause a stir about Peep Show in that city?
I have a very specific answer and recommendation on this point. One of the areas that I think is being overlooked is a direct appeal to the gay community. And you couldn't find a better location for such an appeal than a city like San Francisco, where women historically like to look at other women. So I would fly Holly to San Francisco, and I would have her do a series of interviews throughout the day with the various gay publications, talk about it on television, and in a perfect world, if some controversy erupts, if there is a woman in San Francisco or anywhere along the line that feels that this is all the sexual exploitation of women, same old song, dressed up in a different package, it's immoral, it is bad, it is wrong. Well, I can't wait for us to get her phone number to allow her to debate with Holly. I would love to see Holly on with a guy like Bill O'Reilly. I'd like to see Holly in any kind of controversial situations where there is some resistance. By the way, we have a couple of rather attractive male dancers.
And singers.
And singers. And I think that it would make sense to fly one or two of them to San Francisco to do these various things. And that would be part of the feeder program. A couple of other thoughts. I'd like to see a DVD, an in-house DVD called The Girls of Peep Show. Real simple to videotape it, either on stage. It wouldn't be the show, but you would see little splashes of what they do and a little bit of their private lives when they're not here. What are they like off stage? A little bit more of the backstage stuff, how they apply their makeup, matters having to do with wardrobe. And for the disc to be available, either for sale or in the rooms themselves. And of course, the disc becomes a virtual business card to be sent anywhere.
Very
in the
good
world.
idea. Now let me ask you one, Elliot.
Yes.
You are a genius at disseminating information.
Yes.
It's a huge amount of new media now. The internet is critical. We've gone from simplistic internet to blogging, and now everyone is twittering and tweeting and all sorts of things. How would you integrate all of that to assist Peep Show?
All of these electronic devices are basically extensions of the essential message that we're putting out. One of the thoughts that I had was a Peep Show calendar.
Yes.
It's in the tradition of burlesque.
Yes, that's in concept at the moment.
Okay. Once you got the calendar, you can move the calendar onto all of these various devices with signage. You can also do the various banners that would link it to other sites around the world that have to do with attractive women dancing. And that's an unlimited market where you could be in 20, 30, 40, 50 million different locations simultaneously. One or two final points. Camille Paglia is the #1 feminist writer in America. She's brilliant. I would urge you to invite her to write an essay about the socio-sexual, political implications of seduction and how it has evolved through the centuries and how it now culminates in this form at Planet Hollywood. Consider the possibility of the poolside Peep Show experience, of designating a special area with a special cabana where for an hour in the afternoon you just might run into some of the women who are sunning themselves, and there's a little package for $500 where there's some bottle service and some souvenirs and the chance to say hello to one of the ladies in the bikinis. I would also suggest you consider borrowing from the Japanese shunga books tradition and create the Planet Hollywood Peep Pillow book. Small little book placed under each pillow that shows a variety of men and women from the show in various inspirational and seductive positions. I'll let you fill in the missing pieces. Those are some initial suggestions by way of marketing. The fact is that Peep Show will be the Planet, what the dancing fountains are to the Bellagio across the street. You've got this marvelous entity here. Let's let the women talk more about it when they're not on stage. Let's have them circulate and move around. Let's stimulate a little bit more controversy around it. And finally, at the end of the day, to remind people that in a time that we're living in of such incredible discord, there is never a substitution for that primordial sense of sensuality. I'm going to return to Los Angeles. I'm going to continue to try and give you the best knowledge that I can provide.
Elliot, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your really busy schedule and all the demands and all those incredible clients you have.
You're welcome.
And your nocturnal activities and the Chardonnay factories all wish to thank you. All the vineyards that wouldn't be who they are without you. So I'd like to sort of leave with giving you a sort of state of the nation, state of the union, so that you can go back and on some of your sleepless nights think a little more about Vegas in a broader sense. In case you can come up with some ideas, we speak very regularly. We have consultations just like this,
Yes.
generally telephonically.
Yes.
But of course we understand each other, which is the great thing about you, and all your clients think that about you, that you really get to their problems very quickly, and you're very focused, and you go straight to the critical issues. So I think, just to give you an overview, Vegas is suffering. Vegas is going through a very unique transition, which probably is happening in other industries as well, in that the consumer is ready to consume again, but the consumer has now been educated to pay a lower price point. Mm-hmm. And that's happening in retail. As you know, the Saxes of this world lowered the prices on the very famous brands, and one hears now that luxury is too attainable, that you can buy Chanel bags or whoever, I shouldn't say that, I don't know which ones, at 70% off. And so the consumer is reluctant to go back to the full price. The same thing is happening in Vegas. We have lots of bodies again, but they're extremely cost conscious. They're surfing the web. And what I'm really focusing on now is I have this wonderful, unique property, and it has some elements that no one else has. It has the highest energy, it has the best views, it has some very comfortable rooms, it has some great amenities to it. And really what we have to do now is we have to be able to tell the consumer why they should pay a little more for ours than some others, even though in these recessionary times they're so cost conscious. So I don't think I'm looking for the answer so much tonight, but I really would like that to be one of your projects going forward on our nightly calls.
I look forward to it and seeing you again soon.